Rum, all the news that's fit to video. Welcome, you're watching Rum, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing and our regular news roundup, our weekly sim racing news. Thanks to all those who come here often, especially those who subscribe, and even more, our patrons. My name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. After a slow January, we had a slow February, and it seems March is being as slow, at least for the moment. Looking back, it's also because our factor is not being updated, we don't hear anything from Race Room, and we cannot show you anything of what is going on in Automobilista 2. But we have a lot lined up for you anyway. A race later today, a review on Tuesday, our podcast on Thursday, and next week we'll see further joy in sim racing. And now that Ike's computer works again, we'll even get more from him. And on the other hand, some of you can and do thoroughly enjoy Le Mans Ultimate, some of us continue testing Rennsport, and of course all the other sims still work and spread joy. We are spreading the news and not leaving today. Race Room just had the tiniest of updates with improved launch control for the DTM 2020 cars, as well as the Renault TCR and the Honda TCR getting updated fuel consumptions, so be careful if you have a safe setup, and the BMW M3 E30 getting a softer spring setup and a rebalancing of the dampers. The start of the time attack in Norrisring will be sooner because until now it started too near the breaking point, and the VW Scirocco GR2 got a more polished base setup that changes a lot of things, like softening the springs and increasing the roll rate, among others. Tiny would be the word I'd use to describe the update, yes, singular, Le Mans Ultimate got this week, where they fixed you being moved directly to the pit box after the leader had crossed the line, which resulted in you DNFing. Seems the developers preferred to spend their time dissing anybody on the Discord that had an issue with the software. To each his own, I guess. Assetto Corsa now has its very own line of merchandising to the immense interest of. Seems the money problems of 505 games are bigger than we thought until now. Another one with updates is Expeditions. The developers acknowledge the UI UX is not as good as it needs to be and explain it will take several updates to fix, which is fair and is true. One thing that is going to take even longer than that is the co-op mode, which they reckon won't be in the game until months from now, which is baffling. Seems the issues with it run very deep, or that they haven't started implementing it yet. In theory, unless they have changed the SnowRunner engine heavily in that regard, it should be easy to translate the codebase. This first update brings Photomode, which is a wonderful feature in a game as beautiful as this one. It also brings loads of crash fixes. While we didn't encounter any crashes, we must consider ourselves lucky judging by the list. They have done some detailed work on the graphics and worked extensively on the UI. Maps will now open up centered on the place the player is going to be deployed. Car descriptions are now better and more on point, adding also a clear sign of what is DLC content, and when completing a quest or a task, you not only will get the information in a more visible form, but also the information about the rewards you are getting for that. The devs also fixed a lot of bugs in the UI, see the link in a description below for the whole list. An important change is that when you exit to the HQ, all tasks and contracts will be reset, so you can restart a contract or task directly without having to restart it specifically and manually. Objects discovered while looking through the binoculars will be displayed on the map now, so you can find them easily there. Wish they'd do that for the metal detector too. Some of the sounds like drone bad signal or the seismic vibrators have been updated, and many corrections were done with regards to the minigames. The game will also not allow you to buy an add-on if you cannot use it in the car or track you are trying to buy it for. Also, many of the language localizations were improved. The developers closed their list saying they fixed 200 plus other minor fixes and improvements. iRacers, we welcome you into the wondrous world of rain driving. iRacing now has iRain. It's taking them long, but what we hear from each and every user that has tried it, the wait was absolutely worth it. So, more power to the developers of iRacing. But let's not forget that the rain was brought by Season 2 24, which brings much more than that. Added to what we already told you in past news, see the link up there, iRacing also brings new configurations to Kokomo Speedway and Lime Rock Park. Also, all GTE cars and all LMP1 cars have the new damage model, and the AI can now race against you in rain in any of the cars that are already rain capable. Keeping with rain, they of course have introduced different ways to use it in a race. You can select cloud cover, track moisture and temperature and leave it at that for the whole race. You can set up parameters within which rain may be likely, but iRacing randomizes it within your parameters, or you can set up different weather for different time slices within a race. Your spotter will also give you the latest weather report if you ask him, which of course makes the most sense when you have randomized the weather. And the race control system also has seen changes regarding weather and track conditions. A ton of different details, including telemetry variables or blue flags, have also been added to the sim to support the rain experience all around. See the link in the description of the video for all the details. And we'd like to remind you avid iRacers that rain driving is a different beast than driving in dry conditions with different racing lines. You will also notice a new certificates tab in your profile where all the certificates you've earned are listed and which includes a search field. Interestingly enough, they are also working on transmitting the data over the internet in a better way. Hopefully they'll work also on better collision boxes after that, which may be the worst of all sims still being developed in the market. They have also worked on the tire physics, making grass more slippery than it was until now, and made rallycross fuel tanks 80 liters big. Also, the spotter will now remind you if you have still not taken the Joker lap near the end of the race. Of course, the graphic system has seen extensive changes because of the rain, and the developers advise to test screen space reflections on low to see how your system copes with rain graphics before setting it to high. On default, the feature is off. Similarly, particle effects can be finely tuned depending on your system's performance, because of course rain has a lot of particles. To help you hold the clutch at the beginning of a race, different settings have been added, starting with a dual clutch bite point and a way to set the maximum range of the pedal below 100%, so you can set up a button to reach the 100% at race start. They also have added specific changes to better the support of Acetec, Fanatic and Simagic hardware. Moving on to cars, gear ratios of NASCAR vehicles have been updated per track to align with NASCAR rules, as well as other fixes mostly having to do with graphics and damages. The Acura X06 GTP saw extensive changes, including making it rain ready. Be also advised that a lot of standard setups have been changed for many cars and series all over the board. The Atlanta Motor Speedway now has place for 16 cars in its rallycross configuration, and a lot of different tracks got details fixed, among them Magny-Cours, which got tire bundles in T4 and T10.